to the next level.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Coach Tiffany Parra with Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. We are taking center stage today on the Own It Publishing platform, and I have one of my favorites. I tell you, I love everybody, but this one here, she's one of my favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on in. Hey, Miss Terry J. Walker's in the house. How you doing, Terry?
Hey, Tiff, it's great to see you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for being a part of the Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine family. Terry is one of our contributing writers as well. And you can get some amazing, y'all, information from Terry's articles. So definitely, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe so you can check her out as well as some of the other amazing contributing writers in Phoenix Fitness. So, oh my goodness, Moments with Tiffany and Terry. We are TNT, y'all. We are explosive. I tell you, when me and this woman get together. So, we're going to talk. We're starting to kind of get into the end of the year. You know, we've got Halloween behind us. We've got the holiday season kind of starting here. And when that holiday season starts, I mean, it's a very happy time, but it could be a very trying time. It could be a very sad time or a time of just a lot of anxiety. So we really wanted to come in today and chat about just kind of the stresses and how to, kind of navigate through that and also navigate through some of the grief that we might be feeling at this time as well. So, Tara, this is one of your specialties, I think, just the stress management and just how to find that balance in life. So let's talk a little bit about the holidays and just what that kind of brings up.
Oh, Tiff, the holidays come same time every year. They do. But we just got to put that stuff off. And we're always so busy in our lives. And all of this is always going on 365 days a year. But when the holidays come, it just absolutely compounds the stress that we already have. And, I do a lot of corporate trainings, and I'm finding out I'm doing more and more stress trainings and also holiday trainings and things like that with large corporations around the world. But it comes every time, the same time, every year. And with that comes additional stress. It just compounds everything because we're rushing around trying to get ready, the hustle and bustle, the lights, the fun, the activities. But like you said, even for some, it may be a very sad time. It may be a very lonely time. It's even compounded more stress upon a lot of people. So I think it's very, very important that we do understand what goes on and how to manage our stress, because that's an emotion that we all have. And it's something that can help us. It releases dopamine and all of that and helps us with the fight or flight. It also helps us with preparing for that big event, such as the holidays that are coming on, or maybe a wedding, or getting that project completed on time. And if we don't learn to manage it, it's a feeling of dis-ease for us. But if we don't learn to manage that feeling of dis-ease, it can become chronic.
Right. Absolutely.
And that feeling of dis-ease can turn into a disease.
Yes. And that part right there, Tara, and when you're talking about, like corporate, let's go through some of the areas of just that stress, right? When you're in that corporate environment, as you said, this time comes the same time of year every year. We know that we have open enrollment. We know that we have insurance changes. We know we have all these different things. The accounting has to be on point. All the books need to be closed and on point because taxes are around the corner. I mean, there's just so much. So let's talk about just the stresses in the corporate environment and a little bit on how we can just kind of combat that a little bit as well.
Well, and it's a ton of stress for anybody that works in corporate environment, and like you said, the year end changing of the insurance, all of those types of things. And if you're in sales, it's not just the fourth quarter, but you have to finish out the fourth quarter strong and have the first quarter prepared for.
Yes.
And have that turned in even for next year. So it is a very, very difficult, stressful time of the year for any and all of us. And again, compound that with just day in, day out life, trying to manage a family, manage your own life, manage your fur babies, deal with purchasing gifts, deal with parties. There's a lot of parties coming up, a lot of those things. And sometimes maybe we partake a little more than we should in some of those parties. And that may, that lowers our immunity. We're getting out, doing more and more things. We're around more and more people. We're running ourselves ragged. We're not resting.
Yeah.
And we're not taking care of ourselves. We just kind of lose that. And we eat more. And we eat stuff maybe that's not so good for us because, hey, I'm one of the first to tell you, I just love the desserts.
I love them too, Tara. Especially, I mean, this time of the year, you got just everybody just making all sorts of cool stuff. And as a health and wellness coach, though, I try my best to portion size, but it can get to you. And sometimes the stresses of that couple of pounds coming on, the stress of having the kids at home for a couple of weeks. I mean, it just all can compound. But again, we know that it's the same time of the year every year. So why don't we learn how to mentally just get ourselves ready and also do some of the things that can maybe alleviate the stress? Like if okay, you're going to have to buy gifts, right? You have children or, you're in a work environment where maybe, you're managing people and you want to give them a little something. Why not do that type of shopping during the summer? I mean, I at one point I got into a really big habit of doing that when I was in human resources, where I would go and purchase things during the summer because it would be cheaper during the summer for one. And I was able to be a lot more thoughtful behind it because I had the time. I wasn't so rushed and caught in the hustle and bustle because, when you go out during this time, that's a stress altogether, having to be shoulder to shoulder in these stores with all these people.
Fighting the lines, fighting the crowds, fighting the traffic, looking for a parking place. You got it. It just keeps adding up. And it makes us angry and it makes us stressed. It's stress. But, you were talking about, just being proactive because we know it's coming. Even like what you're doing is being proactive. And I'm a big advocate that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Just taking that time to be a little proactive and be a little more thoughtful before the holidays even get here is always a good thing. And it helps us to balance and manage our finances a little better too. Because I've already got that. I've already taken care of that. So because a lot of us go into debt and that compounds the stress even after the first of the year. You've had all the holidays, you've partake, you've drank the Kool-Aid, you've eaten the sugar, you've done whatever you're going to do. And then it just all stops after the first of the year. Right. And we're sitting here going, now what? I'm in debt.
Right. And now I'm more stressed out.
And everything stopped.
Yeah.
And so are we learning to balance even all the way up through some of that? So I think that's a good point to make about this, because I know that whoever's listening to this, we're hitting something that is truly a trigger. And it's like, you nailed it, because we're all going through it. We've lived it.
Yeah, we sure have. So look, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and Tara talked a little bit about dis-ease and some of those types of things. Dis-ease is disease, y'all. So we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like as well. So we'll be right back. And we are back. This is Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, Coach Tiffany Parra, Editor-in-Chief, and we have our special guest, Terry J. Walker. This is Moments with Tiffany and Tara today. So, Tara, we're talking about the stresses of just that year in, getting into the holiday season. And you had mentioned a little bit about, when you're in the stress, right? And your body is at this dis-ease. It just is feeling nasty. And you can really open yourself up to getting those types of disease. Stress is that silent killer, y'all. Okay. Your blood pressure goes up. Diabetes is linked to being overly stressed. You've got, when your body is in disease, it is inflamed. So what happens with inflammation, right? There's cancers. Everything and anything that goes wrong in the body is linked to inflammation. And that's, we need to learn how to just calm ourselves. Let's tap into that neurological system just a bit so we can find that harmony inside so we are not in that, dis-ease, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit, Tara, on just, there are some ways that we can, really learn to just find that peace. And can we talk about that a little bit? Because you have a few different practices that you have put in place that really can help people with that.
Yes, there's numerous practices, but I want to mention too about what you had just said about the disease state, and even with that, it lowers your immunity.
Yeah.
And I know you have a lot of female followers, but the men would probably care about this too. But did you know that it actually speeds up the aging process?
Okay.
And so there's that. Just a little extra out there for you. And cardiovascular disease and gastrointestinal disease, all of these things, because basically what happens is, and I know when I get stressed, I don't know about you, Tiff, but my shoulders go up.
Yes.
And when my shoulders go up, I know I'm getting more stressed, and we constrict, and we're not breathing effectively, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
We've stopped taking those good, deep cleansing breaths, and our mind, we're not getting oxygen. When you're closed up, you're constricting your veins, your blood vessels, your blood flow, and you're constricting your oxygen, which flows through your veins and your cells, but also to your brain.
Yeah.
And so when you are finding out your body is talking to you throughout all of this, and you're lowering your immunity and turning that into a disease state because you're not learning to manage your stress effectively. And by doing that, we get into trouble and we're not listening to our body. And by constricting and doing all those types of things, headaches, migraines, muscle aches, backaches, pains, whatever the case may be, we all go through that with basically because we're not learning to manage our stress. So what I'd like to do is give you a little tip, trick, and tool of the trade of something that we can all do, and it is free. How many things in life are free? Air, that's for sure. But we're not breathing because we're constricted. So we're not breathing properly. But we can always take the time that when we are listening to our body or recognizing that I'm tensing up, I'm not feeling good. Maybe my stomach's beginning to hurt. Maybe my neck and shoulders are hurting. whatever the case may be, your body's actually talking to you, right, Tiff?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
And so what can we do to take that time to listen? One, are we listening to our body, or are we still continuously pushing through? Well, I got to be here. I got to be there. I got to get shopping done. I got to do whatever the case may be. But we can take what I call the power of now, which is the present moment, the very power that we have, the only power that we have, and that is the now.
Yeah.
And take some time to go sit somewhere, if you will, that's quiet or whatever the case may be. And even if you're working from home or working on the computer, take some breaks during the day to do this. But you want to uncross your legs, you want to uncross your arms, because when you cross, you block the flow of energy. Yeah. And we are all energy beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we want to make sure our energy is flowing. We're not constricting or tightening it up. Make sure that you got your feet flat on the floor. That helps with a sense of grounding and purpose, if you will. But take some time, maybe roll your neck or your shoulders, just kind of relax and pull your neck and shoulders back and your head, and make sure that you're not crossed, and sit in a comfortable position with both feet on the floor, if you will, and take some good cleansing deep breaths. And if you'll do this on a regular basis, this will help to bring you back to the power of now, to the present moment. It will also make sure that it's helping you to manage your stress more effectively. So I do a breathing technique, and I teach a breathing technique, and there's different types. So there's all kinds of things that we can do, but it just takes a few moments. But when we're all stressed and we're busy, a lot of us like to multitask. But the truth is that you can really only think one thought at a time. So if you stop those thoughts, and a lot of times when we're stressed out, those thoughts are rapid and they're going and going and going. Yeah. But if you can only think one thought at a time, by using this breathing technique, you got to think about counting. And so if you're counting in your breathing, that helps to slow you down. It stops all the other rapid fire thoughts of things that's got to be done, and just brings you back to that present moment by being uncrossed, your feet flat on the ground. So what I want to do with you and your audience today, Tiffany, is to take some deep breaths, but we want to do it through our nose and take a good inhale. And we're going to do that with the count of 4. And then we're going to hold that breath to the count of 2. And then we're going to steadily let the breath out of our mouth and control that to the count of 6, because so many times we want to control everything, but this is something we actually can control. So if you're thinking and you're counting and you're controlling your exhale and thinking about that, it helps to bring you back to the present moment and to slow you down. So let's do this. You want to? I'm going to count, but I'm going to let you do the practice, if you will. Okay. So again, a good deep breath through the nose to the count of 4, hold 2, and exhale out through the mouth, count of 6. Ready? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 1, 2. Exhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll sit there with that for a moment. And then we would practice it again. Let's do another one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2. 1, 2. Slow exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we would sit there with that a moment. But if you would do this 2 or 3 times in a row, just to sit there with it and do those, it takes 2, 3, 4 minutes out of your day to actually bring you back in. So do you feel any different? I mean, we only did it twice, but you know.
Honestly, you know what? That first one kind of brought me like, okay, I'm aware. And then that second one, I could feel, see for myself, Terry, you know, I've been doing this for a minute, and I could honestly feel that heart rate. I could feel it go down just a little bit.
Yes.
You know, so thank you for that. And I hope everyone, I hope you all try that.
Perfect. And you're getting more back in tune. But if you do it a minimum of 3 times or even 5 or 6, and you're thinking of that counting in your mind, so you can't bring any other thoughts in,
Mhm.
and it actually slows you down. And that's just one quick tip that we can all do at any time of the day, just to kind of center ourselves and think about what is going on with our body, and to relax our body. And it actually even relaxes our mind for that moment, so that we can reset, restart, and move on.
Oh, I just love that, because we have to have that reset. We cannot go on that just go, go, go. You're on that hamster wheel, right? We have
Yes.
to stop at times, because if we don't stop, we will hit that burnout.
Yeah.
And, with a practice like this is going to help you to know where your body's at already. I mean, I'm very in tune with my heart. So
Yes.
I'm very in tune with it, because I have had panic attacks in the past. I have had that high anxiety level. So that's a part of me that I really focus on. Now, if you're just going in, you may feel a pain that you didn't feel before. And that's your body cueing you, saying, hey, there's something wrong,
Yeah.
you need to address this. So this is excellent, Tara. Oh my God, yes. So
Well,
everybody definitely
and
try.
I utilize this, and this is something truly, and it's being more mindful of the moment, and stopping those rapid thoughts that are stressing us out. We're
Yeah.
not running, we're not all hunched over, we're not bent over a computer, whatever the case may be, and it just begins to relax our mind and our body, to have that reset, and then move on with your day.
Yeah.
But it's quick, it's easy, and
And it's
it
free.
and it's free. It's free.
But you can't beat that. You cannot beat that with a baseball bat. It is free. It's just you taking a little bit of time to just love on yourself.
Yes, yes, and to
and,
get
and,
your
and make sure you put this thing down as well. Leave that in the office. If you're at an office and you had to go out and just take those breaths, take yourself out of the environment sometimes. But if you can't, just taking those deep breaths. I know when I count, I just hear myself counting. I don't hear any of the other stuff in the outside. So
you can only think one thought at a time. You can only say one word at a time. If you're counting, everything else has to sit over here.
everything else has to sit. I
Don't
love
worry, it's not going anywhere. It'll be back. But hopefully it'll be a reset, so that you can kind of just refresh yourself, reset yourself, and get on with your day, and maybe
it.
even make better choices. Your energy is much more improved, and you're helping your immunity, and even to feel better, because stress does lower your immunity. And with
It
the
sure
weather
does.
changing, and the flus are coming back, and colds and crowds, and everything else that's going on, you want to make sure that you're at least taking something to do something to take better care of yourself.
That's right. Absolutely. So, Tara, I know you have just so much just wonderful stuff going on right now. And I know you've got a corporate training coming up. Can you talk a little bit about the corporate training for those out there that are, looking to just, in the year strong?
Yeah, I am so excited that this year I do so many trainings about stress and anxiety and depression and all of those types of things, and grief and loss. And that's just one part of my wheelhouse. But and I'm so excited to be doing this. I am doing a 90-minute webinar to the public that is up now in the United States, and Canada is where we're running this, on Facebook, and I believe on Instagram, but it's coming November the 16th. It's back by popular demand. So November the 16th, I am doing a 90-minute webinar on managing stress during the holiday season. We're going to talk about what the stress does to the body, how can we recognize the symptoms, and what can we do to deal with it more effectively, along with there's a lot of people that may be facing an empty chair this year, or may have had some loss. So we're going to even bring in and incorporate grief and loss. And grief and loss may not be just somebody, it could be a fur baby. It
Right.
could be a loss of a income. It could be a loss of a home. It could be a loss that someone's not going to be able to come home for the holidays this year, that they're
Yeah.
somewhere else. Whatever the case may be, we're going to incorporate managing stress, including grief and loss during the holiday season. And it's a 90-minute webinar, and you can find out more about that, or you'll find out more through Phoenix Fitness Magazine, or Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, I'm sorry, real soon. And we're going to be
Awesome.
doing that. And the seats are limited, but it is backed by popular demand. So we're real excited about bringing that back just to help the masses the best that we can.
I'm so excited for it as well. Oh my goodness. So definitely check out that training, because again, the holidays can be rough and there's a lot of different emotion going on, there. So Terry is offering something that can really help you to just manage through the holidays and be in that happy place. So that's just awesome. So Terry, let's talk a little bit about your TV show on MUPO TV, I Am Power Hour.
We got the I Am Power Hour. Welcome to the I Am Power Hour with me, Terry J. Walker, and my buddy here now, Tiff and TNT. We got to do an I Am Power Hour, that's for sure.
Yes.
I'm so excited about the I Am Power Hour. I've won an award, met you, and most creative and innovative show. We went out and actually dealt with people who are helping others. And that's what I want to do, is to meet people who are having that courage to rise and thrive and to help others in a holistic manner, or even helping animals and things like that, and bringing them back even from extinction. So it is a very great show, and I'm very proud of it, very excited about it. And it's helping a lot of people, even through holistic health, and connecting people is what I want to do, to connect people to maybe say, well, if they can do that, I can get in touch with them, and maybe I can do that too.
Yes, I love it. And look, y'all, if you have not subscribed to MUPO TV, definitely go to your iOS or your Android, download MUPO Entertainment, and check out the I Am Power Hour. This woman here even firewalks. Okay.
We're going to talk about that, how to break through limiting beliefs.
Yes. So, Tara, can you just share just a little bit of words of wisdom, some words of encouragement for our audience before we close up today?
Well, we talked a lot about some things on having to manage grief, stress. That's stress and grief. Made a new word.
Right.
There's your. But we talked about managing stress and grief, and I think one of the things that we need to do is maybe make sure that we're taking the time to get in line or in alignment with our mind and our body, and understanding what our body's trying to tell us, and not let the body be the mind, but we take over the body and be the mind. But are we doing things to take better care of ourselves? What are we putting in our body? What are we listening to? What are we watching? What are we doing to take care of ourselves, to motivate ourselves, and to continue to grow within ourselves? Because I am a true believer that we all need to grow to our greatest, truest, highest, and best self. And by doing that, it takes practice. But if we take better care of ourselves on a personal level, we can we can continue to grow and continue to become, because we're always in a state of becoming. But once we begin to do that, we can not only help ourselves, but we can shine our light and help others to do the same.
Yes. Oh, Tara, thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for just everything that you do. You are just so brilliant. I love having you in my life, Tara. So thank you everyone for just joining us for this moment with Terry J. Walker and Coach Tiffany Parra, TNT. Okay, again, we are explosive. I hope you got everything that you needed out of this and more. Definitely try these breathing exercises, especially as we move into the holidays, just to try to find a little bit of relief in some of that stress that you might be going through. Love you all so much. Take care, and we will definitely see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
the next level.